And we are live. We are live. Hey guys, welcome to the Superherocuts podcast, where we talk about things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It's your boy Stevie Hayes, joined by the best, the greatest co-host of all time, Jerry. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, man. I am good. Got a lot of things going on in my life, and no complaints. Even though I do make some complaints offline, I trolled you with, and we don't need to get too deep on it, but Stevie texted me about something, and I just said to him, "Yo, I'm so excited about a PlayStation controller," and he had no idea what I was. He was so confused. He FaceTimed me immediately.
Yeah, I was like, let me see it. Is it like a superhero thing? He was like, no, bro. He was like, that's just my new thing. I was like, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Yo, that threw me off so hard. I was like, what is wrong with Jerry? Like, is he going through something? Like, like, did bro have a bad day? Like, are you asking me to hop on a game? Like, what do you want? Like, I'm here for you, bro. That was hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Oh man.
Oh, good time.
Other than that situation, I'm doing great.
Good. So obviously, as you see with the title, we are talking Superman today as our main topic. So before we get into it, because some things happened today, before we get into what David Cornswell said and James Gunn talking about Lex. Now the full Superman logo has been revealed at CinemaCon, okay, and is very similar to the logo that we've seen before. I actually gotta download this to pull it up on the screen. But that's basically they said that the Superman logo is very similar to this. How do you like this?
Is there yellow in the logo, or is it I can't tell if it looks white because
hold on. I'm about to pull it up right now. I'm about to pull up on my thing. So it is yellow inside of it.
Sweet. I love it. It's so awesome that he went with the Superman Legacy logo, and there is some major irony in it because the Superman Legacy logo is probably the most unique but still awesome Superman logo. And the irony is that the Snyder cult is still somehow convincing themselves that James Gunn copied Zack Snyder with the Superman Legacy logo.
Those idiots. Hold on. I'm about to pull it up right now. Give me a second. Present. Share screen.
We keep calling it Superman Legacy. It's not Superman
Legacy.
Superman.
Yeah, Superman. So yeah, this Superman
it's so
logo
hard to get used to it.
So this isn't the logo verbatim, but it's pretty close to this one. So that's what it's pretty. It's close to that one.
Fire. I mean, I love that the S looks more like a cross on a shield than an S. And I actually do love the Superman S. I also, by the way, and you cultists on X could clip this and, roast me all you want. But the difference is that I don't feel like I have to pretend that Zack Snyder is all bad. I could actually acknowledge that I loved the Zack Snyder Superman suit. I love the Zack Snyder Superman logo. I'm usually a fan of the Superman logos, and I think, but this one, I don't know if this is why. I have to imagine part of the reason James Gunn went with this one is because it is obviously unique and sets itself apart from all of the others.
Yeah, I think this logo, bro, is going to take some getting used to for a lot of fans because they're so used to, like the traditional, like old school Superman logo that has an actual S in it. And we were already teased this S in the animated Superman show as well because he has literally the same logo as well. So I was already keyed onto it. So I think this logo is awesome, and it's just very different than what we've seen before. And I think, and even Matt said that he said he wanted more out of the logo, but to me it looks more alien-y than American-y, if that makes sense. Like the regular S seems so earthy, so human.
Yeah, like how did an alien?
He's an alien.
How did an alien symbol perfectly end up being an English S.
Exactly. And like the way is, oh, it's a symbol for hope, but like, bro, they're from another planet. Their alphabet has to be different. So I like kind
Yeah,
of having like it is an S, but it's more of like a slash going across.
yeah. That's what I meant. Cross, obviously not a Christian cross, just like a literal cross.
So yeah, I am really excited for what we're gonna see with David Cornsweet and the team, and this has the potential to be one of the greatest Superman films of all time, and
Facts.
I'm pretty excited, and I can't wait till we see this because if it is the greatest Superman movie of all time, we're gonna cook Slab 3 the hard way because he thinks that I'm pretty sure he thinks that Man of Steel is he said it that Man of Steel is one of the greatest DC films of all time. So Slab, just
Yeah,
know, baby,
yeah,
we coming for you, bro. If this movie's good, you will be
yeah,
on the review and you will get cooked.
yeah. And
By the way, guys, we
listen,
love Slab, man. He's awesome.
for real, he's a good friend of the show. He's the man. And listen, the other thing is a lot of people in a very weird corner of the internet have convinced themselves that this movie came out and it's terrible. But listen, James Gunn, he is that guy. There's so much riding on this movie, whether it is going to be successful or not, that I think that everyone involved just knows that they can't afford to fumble this movie.
100%. So yeah. So we love the logo around here, and we're just super excited to see what more James Gunn is going to do with this Superman movie. Okay. So, all right, now we're going to get into our first topic here. So, James Gunn confirms that Lex Luthor is the main villain of Superman. So, and we talked about this last week. There was this rumor that was going around regarding the Superman movie, and the rumor was that Ultraman was going to be the main villain of the movie. And Ultraman is basically like a multiversal version of Superman, but we didn't know if they were going to make Ultraman a clone or the multiversal version of Superman. And a lot of people were very distraught and upset about this idea of Ultraman because I think that a lot of fans are starting to not like this idea of, or they think they don't like the idea of the multiverse, so they were starting to complain. But James Gunn made this post on, I think it was on Instagram thread. So I'm gonna read what he said, and then Jerry, it's all you. So he says this: the primary protagonist of Superman is shockingly Superman. The main villain of Superman, shockingly Lex Luthor. I don't know where all the stuff is coming from. That it's something other than this. There are so many stories coming out every day. It's difficult to deal with, and every time I strike something down, I'm giving it the attention. So I'll say again, don't believe anything unless you see it here. And why would you want to know everything before the movie comes out? And then he had a heart, and then he had a mermaid emoji. Oh, bro, you're on mute.
Interesting choice with the mermaid emoji.
Yeah, yeah. Why would he do that? Is
Yeah,
Aquaman going to be a Superman?
yeah. Listen,
That'll be a mic drop.
at first when I heard the clone idea, I was not feeling it. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, at the very least, it could be a cool black and white juxtaposition of what Superman is and what Superman isn't to clearly define those lines as they've been really blurred from Zack Snyder. And but I still don't really like the idea of a Superman clone being in the first installment of the new DCU. I just think that, that kind of doesn't work. You should go for something more definitive and classic. And, and I think I even said to you, I was like, Lex Luthor should be the villain, period. And that's basically what James Gunn said. So.
Yeah, Bizarro, I'll be 100% down for because that's an actual faulty version of Superman. And I've always been a Bizarro fan, but Bizarro's not a main villain, but that could be someone that you have that's coming at him throughout the film. I wouldn't mind that. but the whole Ultraman thing, it would just be too confusing. You're trying to sell this universe, this Earth to us. Why would you try to sell this Earth to us, but bring a Superman from another
Yeah,
Earth? It's too much. It's too much if you went that route.
yeah, it makes no sense. And I didn't like all the Bizarro stuff as much as I like the other stuff in Superman and Lois. I still enjoyed the Bizarro stuff because the show is amazing and it handled it really well. But it was always kind of weird to me. I've never been big on Bizarro, and I'm hoping we like Lex Luthor should be. I feel like Lex Luthor should be the only villain in this movie.
Did you watch the Bizarro animated stuff?
No.
Because that's where I get my Bizarro from. I don't really
Animated series or okay.
Yeah, I don't because like I grew up from Bizarro being in the animated Superman stuff, so that's kind of where my definitive Bizarro is. Yeah, Superman and Lois, man. I go back and forth if I like it or not. But if you watch Superman the animated series, I think that would sell you on Bizarro because he's portrayed super dope in that movie or in that show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
surprised
he's
you
a good character.
grew up with that because that stuff was on when I was a kid, and it's interesting it was on when you were a kid too.
So the way that I caught onto it was Justice League Unlimited came out, and the regular Justice League show came out when I was a kid. So what I was doing is I would go back and watch the animated shows that were connected to it, and so that's how I got onto Batman the animated series and Superman the animated, and then that show, The Batman, with like it was kind of like an anime version of Batman. Like I like drove all those, but then I was in the Power Rangers heavy for like 12 years. Like that took a lot of my time. Like
I was a Power Ranger diehard when I was like super young, like 4 years old. But I the movies came out, they weren't so good, and I kind of grew out of it. Yeah,
dude, I was probably Power Ranger, so I was like 12 or 13, bro. And then I got roasted for it in 6th grade, and I was like, yeah, I gotta stop.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, it's funny because one of those like guys on X that I always send you his stuff and I can't stand them. He goes so hard for the Power Rangers, and I'm just like, bro, you shouldn't be. I wouldn't tell people you like Power Rangers if I were you. I wouldn't say don't talk to the kid, but like, he's like my age and he's like hyping up Power Ranger stuff.
I mean, bro, they dropped the Power Rangers movie that was really fire
in 2017. That it was good.
Yeah, that joint was really good. Like, and because I think that Power Rangers could work with adults. You just have to sell it the right way. And that Power Ranger movie, I think, was sold perfectly. They didn't make a second one, so I don't understand. Like I would still be a Power Rangers diehard if they switch it up. But every show was the same plot. Like they fight the villain, they lose, they beat them, then they go into Megazords and beat them while they're big, and then the episode's over. Like it's the same plot every single show. Like it's literally like a pyramid scheme, but Power Rangers. Like it's like bro, like it's like Power Rangers, Dino, like Amway, and then
you keep cutting in and out. By the way, like every now and then, your volume gets super low. That was a perfect example of your volume being too low. I don't know what it is.
I'm definitely going to take a look at it, but you hear me now?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a power. It's like these Power Rangers films. It's like one is Amway, the other is 4X, or like those freaking IML things. It's like a pyramid scheme. It's like, oh, you want a Power Rangers? Well, you can make your own Power Rangers. So yeah, it was terrible. But Derpy Entertainment just commented. He said this. He said, "I just wanted to say the patience is killing me because DCU fans been waiting since 2012. The Avengers since the 2012 Avengers for a proper universe. I agree. And the Joker trailer dropped. Okay, we might. Now I'm going to say this, guys, for all of you guys to know, DC do be flagging us. So I don't think we're going to watch it on here, but we might watch it in private, and we might do a separate video on it. Jerry, while I fix my mic, can you go into David Cornsweat?
Yeah, sure. So let me take a look at what we got. So David Corn Sweat has said that the vibes of James Gunn's Superman are similar to All Seasons and All Star Superman. He adds that this story is totally its own thing. So, like, this I love hearing because, you know, if you're someone who gets upset when a comic book movie isn't a direct adaptation of a comic book, like, I don't understand that. You've already read the comic book, obviously. Why do you want a direct adaptation? Don't you want a new and fresh story? And that's always been my perspective. All Star Superman, obviously, everyone loves it. It's great. It's like a definitive Superman, and so they're going to obviously take inspiration from that, and that's the Superman it's going to be. And, Grant Morrison is, one of the most famous writers in comics who wrote that book. And, I think that's awesome. And I think it's awesome we're going to get a fresh story, and they know the exact Superman that they want to go after. Which is, by the way, similar to what I said with the Batman. Granted, the Batman definitely was a pretty close yet loose at the same time adaptation of The Long Halloween. The vibes are directly out of Batman, Ego, and Other Tales. So that worked, and I think it's going to work with Superman also. By the way, if Zack Snyder had to tell us which comic he took the vibes of his Superman from, I don't think he would have an answer for you.
Yeah. I'm pretty sold on David Cornswell. I've been sold on him since the casting started. Jerry and I both saw the Vision when David Cornsweet got casted. Yes, he looks like a younger version of Henry Cavill, but Henry Cavill was probably the most perfect looking Superman that we've had. So it's kind of like an obvious reason why he got casted. So, but it's happy seeing David Cornsweet reference these comics because number one, it shows that he's actually reading it. That it shows that he's actually reading the comic books and Henry Cavill did the same thing. Henry Cavill was also in the comics. He just didn't have a director that cared about the lore. And having someone like James Gunn that cares about the lore and that's passionate, it makes you be more free. And we're going to talk about that when we get to Robert Downey as well, because he says some really good things about coming back as Iron Man. But when you're with a director that cares about the character, you're able to be free. And when I say be free, you're able to try things with the character when you have a director that's able to say, all right, let's do that, but let's not do that. And you can tell that Cornsweet has really been taking his notes. The same thing we heard with Rachel Brosnahan. I don't know if you remember, bro, but like months ago, she was saying that she's been reaching out to people that are like new, that are like doing news, and people that are journalists, because she wants to become an actual journalist, because Lois Lane is probably the greatest journalist in superhero fandom. So it's like they're all studying and they're taking their craft seriously, bro. This is really reminding me of the Iron Man 1 cast, where you have that domino of, Pepper Potts, Tony Stark, and Happy Hogan. And I kind of am feeling that same way with Nicholas Hoult, David Cornsweet, and Rachel Brosnahan. They're building that, like, it's giving me the Iron Man 1 feel, like, oh, like this is the start of something new.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And they're gonna redefine Superman for a generation, and they're gonna do it successfully. I'm super excited about it. I think everyone is stoked on Superman, and it's awesome to see people really excited about Superman again, because he has been tarnished in entertainment for a really long time. I mean, people always said, "Oh, Superman's boring," and this and that, and like, I think that's kind of might have been the angle why Zack Snyder was like, "Oh, well, I need to make him dark and edgy so he's not boring." Superman's not boring, and anyone who reads comics will tell you that, and that's why he is been literally the number one most popular character for all of eternity.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's up there with Spider-Man as popular character. I mean, he's up there with Spider-Man and Batman as one of the most popular. I mean, he's the top 5 most popular superhero of all time. So,
Yeah, and a lot of lists
yeah.
though he is number one. He's definitely not my number one, but to a lot of people he is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was my favorite. He might still be my favorite superhero of all time. I've always been a Superman guy.
Mm-hmm.
But Robin is, I mean, Robin's my favorite, but the best. Yeah, Superman. Exactly. Superman was created first, and a lot of people's intros into fandom was by Superman. Like that was the first guy I watched. Like my dad force fed me Christopher Reeves and Super Friends. Like that was all I watched when I was a kid. So. Let's read some chats. By the way, guys, you are able to send super chats also, and so if you want to show some love and donate, feel free to. We're not forcing you to, but that option is there if you guys feel that need to. And we are going to be rolling out some membership soon and stuff like that, so you guys can have more contact with us outside of the podcast and stuff. So, but we'll be talking about that another time. All right. So Dragon Trainer said, "Do you prefer the title for the movie Superman Legacy or just Superman?" Me personally, I liked Superman Legacy. I thought that was a dope name. I don't really care about the name, but I was pro Superman. I mean, I like the name Superman.
I like
Legacy.
Superman. I like Superman because I feel like Superman is timeless. Superman is classic. You don't need to add anything to Superman. And I think that just Superman is, I don't know. I just think it's more classic and definitive.
Yeah, it seemed like they changed that to honor Christopher Reeves too. Like I really think this movie is a big homage to him because yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I also think that like the way I always understood the Superman legacy was, obviously Superman kind of went in the wrong direction, and we are bringing it back to a Superman that honors the Superman legacy. And that was my take on it. However, I think a lot of people were confused as to why they called it Superman Legacy. And I think part of the reason they dropped it was it's just simpler and no one's going to be like, well, what does Superman Legacy mean?
Yeah, I agree. I love it. Yeah, but I really like the name, but it's all good. I mean, either way, I just want to get Superman content. Wait a minute, Superman CinemaCon looks like they're getting some footage for the movie. So you might be confused because they did show footage for the Christopher Reeve Superman documentary.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure they said that there aren't going to be at least they said Superman is done. And I can't imagine that they showed footage or a trailer or whatever from it's called Super/Man. That's the actual title of the Christopher Reeve Superman documentary. And I can't imagine that if they were going to show anything from James Gunn's Superman, that they wouldn't do it at that moment when the focus is on Superman. Social media is already talking about Superman. I mean, if you wanted to capitalize on the moment in the most optimal way, the time to do it has already passed.
Yeah, and they just started filming Superman like a month ago. Now, I will say this: Matt Reeves did do that freaking Robert Pattinson Batman. Remember when they showed his costume in the dark? It was like 10 seconds.
Like 25% of the way done filming the movie.
That was fire. But he got the internet roasted. Remember that? Oh my gosh, people went insane, bro.
I thought the trailer looked fire at that point. I was like, we are in for a fire movie. Yeah. I knew it from that moment.
And then the trailer, they dropped that DC fandom when he beat the crap out of the dude. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh my God. Vengeance.
I want them to bring DC fandom back. I really like that. I really like the idea of them like not putting their all into Comic-Con but doing their own thing. I like the whole Black Adam press drop for that was fire. Like I hope that they bring that back eventually.
I think if they're going to do it, they need to be further in the DCU where they have enough content to justify it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because back then they had mad content. They were putting out so many animated shows, live actions. But but like That should really come back because they could make their own thing like a Star Wars celebration type thing. Like I think that'd be super awesome. So yeah, but I'm all in. But Gunn did say that they will be at Comic-Con, I think next year.
Okay.
But I really expected to see a trailer by summertime or a teaser at least. And just know when that comes out, we're here.
Yeah, I'm still kind of bummed that they didn't start off the DCU with Green Lantern. Oh man, I would have loved to see Green Lantern first, and I just think it would make so much sense.
But he's not the heavy hitter that you start off with. It gotta be Super Batman.
But I think
even the Flash.
Green Lantern could be that heavy hitter.
It wouldn't though.
Iron
you got to build up to it. But you said what?
I said Iron Man wasn't a heavy hitter when they put Iron Man out first.
Yeah, but Iron Man also isn't carrying the ish that DC was at the time. I feel like DC's in a worse pit. So I feel like starting off with like Superman is like the perfect starter, and then you bring in everybody else. Like with Iron Man, there was no expectation. Like no one, like a lot of people didn't care. You know what I mean? Like RDJ's going back, cool. With this, people's like, you're like the life of your franchise is depending on this movie. Like
right.
And now I would have done Brave and the Bold personally, just because I feel like it's easier to land Batman content than Superman content. But
it is. Okay. But I also think that they have done so much Batman content outside of a shared universe that I think it's easy for fans to get hyped on Batman and not care about anything else.
True.
Where Superman, people associate him more with the DC shared universe than they do Batman.
True.
Just because they had the Michael Keaton era, they had the Schumacher era, they had the Nolan era. I mean, there's so many Batman eras without a shared universe.
100%.
Yeah.
What do you say? It was just a video teasing next year. Superman was created first. Yup. Common goers only know Superman though. Common goers know Batman. Gal Gadot put Wonder Woman on, bro. Like we can't get about that. People know the Flash. People know, bro. Do you know how many people watch the CW shows? Do you know how many people watch Flash? How many people watch the Arrow? Bro, DC, characters are well known. Like, bro, my wife even watched Arrow. Like, and she's not a superhero fan at all. So like lot of, Legends of Tomorrow was even big. So I mean, people know this stuff. Not the Superman, bro. Super Friends was one of my I grew up on that, brother. The Joker 2 trailer was interesting at the most, but it's looking everything said about the movie rumors. Yeah, so it's looking like a musical, and I'm not sure I'm a fan. Okay,
I'm not into it.
Let's just knock this out while we're here. Okay, so we as a collective, and Jerry knows what I think. This pisses me off. I hate. Actually, let's answer the rest of these Supermans, and then we'll go on a quick Joker rant. You guys should watch this fan-made David Cornsweat superhero legacy trailer by Dr. Flashpoint. That is a tone I want for Superman on 2025. Yo, Hungry Almighty, DM me that trailer on Instagram at Superherocuts, and I will show that on our page right now. Just DM me that, John. Hungry, it was a crazy good fan-made trailer. Cool. I hope Green Lantern is the next project of Superman. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah. Disney didn't have Spider-Man, X-Men, Hulk was complicated, so they started with Iron Man because it was the best. Exactly. That was all they had at that point. I would argue that Captain America would have been a better start, but that's my opinion. I think the first Avenger would have been a good start to the universe as well.
I don't know, because the thing is, Iron Man was rich. He could fly. Like in the world of Hollywood, Iron Man is a better bet than Captain America.
Yeah, I do think Captain America 1 is a better movie than Iron Man 1, though.
Oh, I disagree with that.
Yeah,
like hardcore disagree with that. Yeah.
I think it's a better movie.
They're both great.
Yeah,
but Iron Man 1 is like, oh man, dude. I still remember like leaving the theater being like, I can't believe how good that movie was.
Yeah. And an underrated movie, Thor 1. Thor 1 is underrated.
Yeah.
Very underrated. Yeah. Like it gets hated on for no reason. Like that's one of the best films of all time. All right.
That movie is fire.
It is. It's really good. Very traditional origin story, but it's fire. All right. So let's get to some RDJ news because this makes me happy, man. This makes me a happy man because Kevin Feige has been getting cooked for the past year to 2 years, and a lot of people have lost faith in Kevin. I haven't lost faith yet, but let's read what RDJ says. And I really think you guys should read the whole entire article because it was really good and it really shows how RDJ is just a freaking genius. So he says this. Robert Downey Jr. says he will return as Tony Stark. Happily, it's too integral and a part of my DNA. That role chose me, and look, I always say never ever bet against Kevin Feige. It's a losing bet. He's the house. He will always win. Now, this is a really big deal coming from RDJ because number one, as I said before, Kevin Feige's been getting cooked on the internet a lot, and having someone like Robert Downey come up and stick up for him at this point in time is really good. And the fact that he's saying that he would happily return is also a really good thing. And this also confirms something that I was kind of thinking about during his Oppenheimer press run. Because if you guys peeped the Oppenheimer press run, he was kind of like bashing like all of his films and stuff, like all of his stuff that he did in Marvel, saying like it wasn't real cinema, which I thought was sarcasm because he's a very sarcastic man, and I still do. But I feel like RDJ's vibe right now is like, I did it. I won the Oscar. I am a part of one of the greatest films of all time in Oppenheimer. And it seems like RDJ is ready to go back to having some fun with, filming Marvel. Like, I feel like for him to say this has to mean that something's happening behind the scenes with him coming back. And I know that people wanted to talk about Avengers Endgame is the perfect death, guys. This is comics, man. People come back. So I'm hoping and praying that RDJ can come back to the MCU. That would be freaking amazing. But, we'll see.
I kind of feel like he said that to get on the good graces of the recording, the Oscars, whatever they call it, the Academy or whatever,
Yes. Yeah.
Just because, listen, they are a very pretentious and pompous group of people, and they look down on a lot of things. And one of those things is the genre of comic book movies and superheroes. They always have. And RDJ is obviously aware of this, and he got his Oscar, and he's probably now like, screw it, I'm going to go back to being my authentic self. And listen, the more I think about it, the more I would love for RDJ to come back. I just don't want, I feel like it's got to be after Secret Wars. And we're going to get into Secret Wars. We have something a little special planned for you guys at the end of this episode. But I just feel like it would be too early. I mean, you had the most epic send-off in a movie ever, and you can't just come right back after that.
A multiversal event will have to happen. Like something with Doctor Strange or something like that. Something like that will have to happen. But I do think that RDJ coming back is in the best interest of the universe because number one, he's in the suit, so he doesn't have to rely on being like super husky and fit, And I just think that as I've said before, he should have never died from the start. I think that's a guy. I think Steve should have sacrificed himself because that's kind of what it was leading up to. Tony already proved that he was going to put his life on the line twice.
Yeah.
In both Avengers films. And so, I thought Steve was going to take it, but it's whatever. So yeah, I think that bringing Tony back is the move. And I like the mini theories. I like the one theory of there's a Supreme Iron Man on 838. He wasn't with the Illuminati. There was an
empty Superior Iron Man. You mean?
Yeah. What I say?
Supreme.
Superior Iron Man. Sorry. Yeah. Oh my god. But he's Superior Iron Man is pissed that wanted to kill the Illuminati, and if he's leading a charge on the war to the 616, I'm down for that. I'm either down for another Iron Man from another universe just coming in and doing his thing. I'm down for it all, man. But it has to be done right. But yeah, man, RDJ coming back is in their best interest. And honestly, if you have him back, I think you don't have to bring back all of the OGs. like you still have Thor, you know. So I mean, you can still rock out with that camaraderie, and you still have Hawkeye. I don't see Chris Evans ever coming back.
You know, that would suck because if they're gonna come back, I'd like to see them both come back. Why don't you think Chris Evans would ever come back?
I think he will come back in Secret Wars, but I'm not sure if he would stay forever.
Interesting. Is there like something he said that makes you feel that way?
I just think that any role that relies on your body to stay fit, like I'm not sure he would do that. But then again, Hugh Jackman's back and he looks better than ever. So you know who am I to judge? You know, so I mean I don't know. But like Chris Evans hasn't been doing mad jobs either. So I mean maybe he wants that bag again and wants to come back. You know, these guys have had a break for a while. The only one I don't see coming back is ScarJo because of that beef that she had with like the streaming service and everything. I feel like Disney probably wiped their hands with her.
I think it sounded like to me that they reconciled. And
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure she said something.
Good.
If I'm not mistaken. You know, listen, if we're talking about people not coming back, you know I gotta say it. I think they should kill off the Hulk, send him off the Planet Hulk. Don't make the Planet Hulk movie and
He is going.
Get out of here, Mark Ruffalo. He's the worst actor the MCU has ever had. And that guy just doesn't belong in movies. I can't stand him. You know, before Marvel, he was like a rom-com actor. And you know, somehow he landed as the Hulk and at all of our expense. You know, but you know, I don't know. I feel like if RDJ's gonna come back, they gotta get Chris Evans back too.
Oh yeah, Hugger Almighty, send me the Superman link.
Okay, I was just saying in the comments, I don't think it's just on Disney with Mark Ruffalo. I just never thought Mark Ruffalo was a good Bruce Banner. You know, they didn't. I don't think they wanted to pay Edward Norton as much as they were going to have to, and I think that's why they subbed it out. But you know, Edward Norton, and at the time, Edward Norton was like super popular, very famous, and he's not really in a lot of movies anymore. But you know, Edward Norton was. I mean, he always had a very good reputation. He's a phenomenal actor, and like they went from him to a rom-com guy. And you know, listen, I'm 33, so like I was around when Edward Norton movies were coming out all the time, and I remember when you know they put Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk into Avengers and just being like, what, you know.
So I partly disagree
about Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, because I think that Mark Ruffalo's a good actor. I don't
Okay.
like he's an annoying person because he spoils everything.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to drop kick him like during the Endgame run. He kept spoiling, and I was like, bro, like I will sweet chin music you if you spoil another thing. But anyways, but I do think that that's Feige, because or the team at Marvel, because number one, the Bruce Banner and Natasha Romanoff romance was the weirdest thing ever. Like that was super weird. Like that was really awkward because we all know that Natasha and Cap have a thing. I don't know why you plant that seed in Civil War, then you just diverge from it and make him get with freaking his. Anyways,
you mean plant the seed in?
Oh my gosh, and Winter Soldier. Oh my gosh, yeah. I am just my goodness. First Supreme Iron Man, and now the Civil War. Thank you, bro. Thank you for having my six. But yeah, so like in the Winter Soldier, the seeds were planted, and then Cap's like, I saw them close. It was like, bro. And then Banner was like, what do you mean up close? That was funny. Right. It's like, what? But like, that was weird. And then there's no Veronica, but for somehow Veronica's in the freaking Captain America movie. It's just weird. So they have a lot of explaining to do because there's no like. There's ways that you could have made Mark Ruffalo pop as a Hulk, and I think that me personally, bro, Avengers 1, Bruce Banner sold me as the Hulk. I think he was really good in Avengers 1, and then after that, they kind of just went off and just kind of.
It was. I wouldn't say he was really good, but he wasn't definitely bad. His best performance.
Yeah.
but he always seemed to me like, which the other thing that I didn't like about him as the Hulk is Bruce Banner is a super genius. And the only time I ever kind of thought Mark Ruffalo was smart as the Hulk was because Mark Ruffalo, I mean, he totally seems like a moron. He seems like an idiot, and maybe he's not. Like, I don't really know him well at all. But the only time he ever seemed smart was when he was the Hulk with the glasses in Endgame. However, then there are scenes when he's like putting Ant-Man through the time machine and he acts like a child, and it's like, you almost bought that Mark Ruffalo was smart as Bruce Banner, and then he, is like, and he's like acting like a 6-year-old. So
yeah, I think that Professor Hulk was perfect.
The Professor Hulk was, I thought, was one of their better moves with the Hulk.
Yeah, no, bro. Do you know what was even more hilarious, bro? I'll never forget. Like, remember during Avengers, like Endgame, when it's Tony, Bruce, and Rocket, and Tony puts the gauntlet together, and then Rocket says "boo" and scares them all.
yeah. Rocket's great, man.
Yo, bro. Nothing beats when Rocket like flips out and is about to kill somebody. Who called me a rat?
yeah.
Oh my god, I love Rocket. But it is. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Bruce, you said Bruce Banner's an idiot. You're funny. Yo, but yeah, I mean, as I said, I liked Mark, and I think the Professor Hulk angle was really good. And then to me personally, I feel like they fell off when they went the route of like trying to with the She-Hulk stuff and him having a son and all that, and wasn't the biggest fan of the Natasha Romanoff relationship. But I mean, all in all, I think that, as I said, I don't really think the Hulk is that important of a character anyway, so I'm not really tripping about it. So all right, so we're gonna watch the trailer Star Wars Tales of the Empire. Okay, so there was a Star Wars show called Tales of the Jedi. Now there's a Star Wars show called Tales of the Empire. So we're gonna play that for a second.
We allowed to do that?
Yep. Any Disney content we are able to share because they're actually nice.
Cool.
So shout out to Disney. Give me a second. All right. Let me know if you hear this.
Why?
You hear that?
You seek
Yeah.
you.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, we're going to start from the top.
Why do you seek imperial favor?
Years ago, my people were all but destroyed. My anger gives me strength. It is that strength I offer the Empire.
Offer accepted.
I'm here to present you with an opportunity, Barris.
Just be glad you're not a Jedi anymore.
Your path is set, Morgan Elspeth. I will fulfill my destiny.
Mercy only breeds defeat. But I will help you overcome this weakness. Attack!
You said the Empire would help to change things.
Everything comes at a cost. My world has been burning since I was a child. You cannot stop what has begun.
Now you must face one final test. To join us. It is time you meet your new master.
Oh, I love Darth Vader, man. Oh my god.
other side of that cape.
Long live the Empire.
How you like it?
You know, I gotta say, like, I feel like they are doing these tales, shorts as a way to provide some sort of content on their IP of Star Wars, and I'm going to get to it in a second, but they've kind of done this with Marvel too. And I am not a fan of shows that don't have a consistent, overarching plot line. It makes me feel like I'm just watching one-off episodes that never lead to anything. They don't add to the story. They don't push the story forward, and they certainly don't do anything to advance the lore. And I'm not a fan of it. I thought Marvel really pissed me off with What If, because season 1, I absolutely loved it. And I'm not saying that the season 2 episodes aren't good, because they are. It's a great concept. It's a great show, but they're all one-off stories that don't really mean anything. And you have to keep in mind that Disney is in a weird place right now with Disney Plus, because when Disney Plus first came out, we got a bunch of new shows, and in Star Wars they got a mixed reaction, but Disney Plus on with the MCU, most of those shows weren't received well, and they have to figure out a way to make content for Star Wars and Marvel on Disney Plus to gain new subscribers and keep subscribers happy. And it just seems to me that this is checking the box in that aspect for the business, but it's really not doing anything for me as the consumer in terms of pushing the stories forward. And that I have a problem with. And this is also why I have the theory about the animated universe that I think Marvel is going to build around the X-Men 97. And if you haven't checked it out, I have another video on that. I don't know if I did it with Stevie or myself. I think we did it, both of us, on the show.
I think that was last week, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, check it out. It's on our YouTube. But long story short, my theory is that X-Men 97, obviously everyone's loving it, and it's been critically acclaimed and all the above. So what I'm saying is, I think, and they've already, Brad Winderbaum, who's like the head of streaming at Disney Plus, had already hinted that we're going to see other characters appear in X-Men 97. And I think that it's a perfect way for them to provide new content on the Marvel IP, build the animated universe around these animated series, and do Spider-Man and, maybe Iron Man or Fantastic Four, while not interfering with the story that the MCU is trying to tell at the same time. So that's my theory on the animated series. And I think that if they're going to make these shows make them real, make them matter, because these Tales things just seem irrelevant to me.
So they are linked to stories. So they kind of build the groundwork for the Ahsoka show, and I guess, and from what I've seen with the shows, they're building some type of groundwork for what they're trying to do with the Mandalorian movie and Ahsoka. The issue is that the characters is the issue for me, not really the stories, because so the first character is Morgan Elsbeth. We saw Morgan Elsbeth in Mandalorian, Ahsoka for her. She also was the main bad guy in Ahsoka season 1. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing is they're building we're kind of seeing like the origin story for Morgan Elsbeth. Now, I don't give a darn about that story. Like, just being honest, like, her story ended in the Ahsoka show. So why are we getting that? But I understand, because I guess what Filoni's trying to do is use her to build up the whole Night Sisters thing that's going on. That's why we see General Grievous there. With that shot was awesome with General Grievous fighting the Night Sisters. Now, all the Inquisitor stuff, I'm all for. Because We saw the Grand Inquisitor in there, and he's training this new Inquisitor on how to become a Sith and all that stuff. I think that stuff is super awesome, and that's the stuff that I'm pretty much excited for. But when we're talking about Sith, man, like give me Darth Plagueis training Palpatine. That's what that's one thing fans to want to see.
Yeah.
And when they tell us of the Jedi, you know, we got to see a young Count Dooku, which that's something that fans love to see. Like those are the kind of things that you need to make when you're doing a Tales. Give us Darth Plagueis or Plagueis the Wise training Palpatine. You know, let us see the early training days of freaking Darth Vader. Like that's what people want to see. Or let's see Palpatine training Darth Maul. You know, so you know that's where I feel they missed the mark. But at the same time, I'm probably going to love it anyway because I'm a Star Wars nerd and because I understand what Dave Filoni's trying to do because this is going to help what they're doing with the Mandalorian and you know having Thrawn in there. Thrawn is the main big bad for the new Star Wars universe that they're trying to build with Ahsoka and Mando and all them. So as I said, I see the vision, even though I don't agree with the way that they're going about it.
And then on that note, you know, maybe they should have thrown in Superior Iron Man into a What If episode,
Agreed,
or something like that, and had a little fun with it. You know, listen, if they're going to use this to set the stage for something else, like that's pretty cool. You know, and listen, I always try to make the case that I think more protagonist villain content is always welcome. So, you know, I am excited about that aspect. I think it's very rare we get to see that. And when we do, it's unfortunately been in the form of, you know, disrespecting the lore like Joker or movies like Morbius, Madam Web. You know, Venom was all right. But, you know, like imagine they made, you know, I mean, they technically did it, I guess, with Revenge of the Sith, but not really. But, you know, imagine, you know, we did get a Kang the Conqueror movie or, you know, something like that. I don't know. I think it'd be cool. Or Doctor Doom or, you know, Darth Vader, you know, and like Darth Vader was the protagonist instead of Luke, which, you know, I always like Darth Vader more than Luke.
Yeah, man. I mean, my problem with What If is like they didn't use good enough good enough topics.
You know,
They didn't take like it's not that hard.
Some of the episodes they had good ones. Some of them they had ones where it's like really
the zombie one was dope. I like that zombie one. That was awesome.
I hate zombies, so I didn't. But you know, I
like the Killmonger thing too.
Yeah. That was dope. But what really pissed me off the most, the real reason What If specifically pissed me off was because towards the end of the first season, they started teasing the Watcher more. And the Watcher was like, you know, I never got involved, but I'm going to have to. And then season 2 comes around and the Watcher isn't involved. It seemed like What If was going to lead into a bigger story within the MCU, and it didn't. And that pissed me off because they teased that it was going to do it.
Yep. I agree. And apparently the Watcher's going to be in that animated Spider-Man movie too.
Oh, that's see, like,
sorry, animated Spider-Man show, that neighborhood Spider-Man.
I knew that's what you meant.
And what if he pops up in X-Men 97?
That would be crazy. But I don't think they are going to bridge the X-Men 97 universe to the MCU.
We'll see. And we're going to talk about that later on. Hunger Mice and Hawk was good from 2009 Hawk, Avengers 1, Avengers 2, Ragnarok. I like the Ragnarok Hawk, man. The Ragnarok Hawk was dope. Him fighting that freaking big dog thing, the wolf.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. I ain't gonna lie. All right. Now let's go here. Okay. Pedro Pascal. Okay, so Pedro Pascal is confirmed to be in The Mandalorian. Now, I know you were pretty sure that he was going to be in it. I was doubting it because I was like, how the heck is he going to film Last of Us to Fantastic Four? Like, that's just constant filming. But I think Slav talked about this too on Twitter because he commented on it. And he was saying kind of what everybody was saying, that, you know, like, He's probably going to do some voiceovers. Somebody's going to take the role of, or you do the body work for Mandalorian, no Diddy, and then he'll probably come back to unmask himself like in the end or something, like in the end of the movie. So I'm happy that Pedro Pascal is in the Mandalorian film. I think that the Mandalorian is the best thing Star Wars has had in a really long time. Season 3 was trash, but I really believe that this movie is going to be dope. But the thing that lives and dies on this movie is Grogu. Grogu cannot be this senseless baby that has insane feats of powers at different times. No, Grogu needs to be talking. He needs to be conscious. He needs to be skilled and needs to know how to fight. There's no way this dude lives with the Mandalorian and time's probably passing. He's not trained in fighting well. So I expect to see Grogu using the Force and maybe even taking on a lightsaber and taking this thing serious. Like, come on.
So I would love to see that, but I think that it's paradoxical to the success of the show and movie because Grogu has been such an integral piece of the movie, the show's success. And I feel like once he starts talking and becoming lethal with a lightsaber, he is no longer this cute little plush doll being sold to kids in the same way. And I'm sure they'll balance it, but the more Grogu grows out of this baby character, I feel like that aspect of it is just going to decline, and that's a direct relationship. The reason I knew that Pedro was going to be in this is because the Mandalorian just doesn't exist without Pedro Pascal. That's like saying, we're going to have Darth Vader and he's not going to have James Earl Jones voice. He's got a lot of things going on. But that's, and it's interesting because we haven't seen this in a while. And I've seen some actors talk about it. I think it was actually Anthony Mackie who said this, that, the time of the movie star is over. Like, people don't go to the movies anymore to see the new Robert De Niro movie. They go to see franchises and characters. So it's easy to forget, but there was a time where actors like Pedro Pascal were very busy and had a lot of big commitments going on at once, and they had to figure out how to balance it. And listen, I'm not an actor, so it's easy for me to say this as a talking head on a podcast, even though I like to think I'm more than that. And I think you guys come back for my my personality and Stevie's personality. And, but my point is, it's obviously easier said than done, but Pedro Pascal's going to have to figure it out because he did sign up to play Joel from The Last of Us, Reed Richards in the MCU, which is obviously very demanding, and The Mandalorian. I stopped watching The Mandalorian last season. I always meant to finish it, and I just never got around to it. But, it's another example of Disney laundering in a female character to take over for a male character. And I'm just tired of it. I'm so tired of it. It's like, I spent time watching this show because I like Mandalorian. Listen, I don't dislike Bo-Katan, but if you want to make a Bo-Katan show, I would watch it, but I watched 4 or 5 episodes of this new season 3 because I'm invested in Mandalorian. I feel like I invested that time watching the show for Mandalorian, not Bo-Katan. So that pissed me off.
Yeah, Bo-Katan is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. One of my favorite characters of all time. And I'm a big Bo guy.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah. Listen, she's a great character.
Yeah, and Katie Sackhoff playing Bo-Katan.
Phenomenal actress.
Go watch it all day, Din Djarin should have been the one to bring everyone together, not Bo. As much as I love Bo-Katan, I wouldn't have even minded a Bo-Katan and Din Djarin relationship. I thought that would have also been dope. But obviously the rumors were that Favreau and Pedro were going at it with Kathleen, which led to a bunch of crap being changed. So, we got what we got. But I think that a lot of things are going to be changed and made right coming into this movie. with Dave Filoni having more power, so he's probably giving Favreau a lot of creative freedom to do, whatever he wants. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited to see what they're going to do with Amanda. But yes, I'm happy that Pedro's back, man. Yeah, he's back. All right. Okay. Fantastic Four has been stressing me out, man. They've been pissing me off because there's there's all these rumors dropping, but you guys know we promise you guys that we'll always report anything Fantastic Four. So I'm gonna read the first rumor and then we'll get to it because there's a theme. So let's not think about the rumors, but the characters, okay? Okay, so the first rumor is this: Vanessa Kirby Sue Storm will reportedly be pregnant with her and Reed's son Franklin. When she is first introduced in the Marvel Studios Fantastic Four film, Franklin will be born shortly after in space. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now let's go to the second rumor. Franklin Richards will reportedly play an integral role in the Fantastic Four. There will reportedly be some sort of connection between Franklin and Galactus in the film. So we all know that Franklin was born there was some complications in how Franklin was born. We're not going to get into how he got his powers. If you want a deep lore drop, you ask Comic Cuts because he's the lore guy for our channel. He will do it if you guys want that. If you want a origin video on Franklin, drop a like.
Keep commenting Franklin. If you want the lore video, comment Franklin. We get enough of them, we'll do it.
Yep. And so basically what I think is happening is that regardless of what these rumors say, Franklin obviously is looking like he's going to play a big role in this film, whether if he's a baby or not. Could that be? Now, we're going into some theorizing for a moment, okay? Because I was thinking about this at work, and I was like, "Hey, yo." So, don't you know how Franklin went back in time to his younger self in the comic books?
Yep.
And obviously there was a part in comics where Galactus was the herald of Franklin because Franklin's just him. He's that strong. Do you think that there could be a situation because if it is true and they start in the multiverse on another Earth, could Franklin be coming back to warn them that their Earth is going to be destroyed, and that could Franklin be the one to move them to the 616, an older version of him?
I'm not so sure I'm sold on Franklin being the one to move them to the 616. But it does sound like you're talking about the Hickman storyline, which you know how much I love that writer. But what's interesting in the Hickman storyline is there is a council of reeds, and they're reeds from different universes. So that might be how they move to the different universe. But I feel like they're going to go big on the negative zone. And I definitely could see Franklin coming from the future and coming back. I'm pretty sure that's what also happened in the Hickman comics. I know I remember the storyline. I'm just blanking if it's Hickman or not, but I'm pretty sure it is. And I'm pretty sure it's like the same exact storyline as the one right after Council of Reeds. I don't like the idea of Sue being pregnant with Franklin at all. I like the idea of Franklin coming from the future. But yeah, that's what I got.
Do you like would you be hyped if you saw the Council of Reeds in this movie? If that's how they got moved? Or do you think that they should save that for like a later on thing?
I think they should save it for a later on thing because there's two things going on here. I think everyone, as soon as we hear that this movie is going to be in a different universe, everyone's like, well, we want the Fantastic Four in the regular universe. So how's that happening? And we want to see that happen immediately. But I don't think that's the move, just because the Fantastic Four are a tricky IP, and they shouldn't be. But the truth is, they've never been successful with the IP in movies. They just haven't. And because of that, I don't think they should take that big of a risk. And I think that something like the Council of Reeds, like the second you do the Council of Reeds, you're making your number one guy on the Fantastic Four show the spotlight. And that doesn't sit well with me.
So your thing is save it for a project later on, and then you bring in all of the older reads from like the old Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah, I don't think you need to like. I don't think that the Council of Reeds needs to be reads from other movies. Like they could be literally identical to Pedro Pascal. And they might look a little different depending on their hair or whatever, but the Pedro Pascal, person. And I also think that they could get away with doing this in another movie. Like they could, use the Council of Reeds to bring the Fantastic Four to the MCU universe in Doctor Strange 3. And, they love laundering characters. And, we have Sue Storm, who's a female. So, it does check the right boxes with Marvel's patterns.
It will be fire if Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange 3 ends up in this random room and you see John Krasinski, and then he was like, he goes like, I thought you were dead, and then it's like Pedro Pascal and the freaking Miles guy from freaking Top Gun, and then the other Mr. Fantastic, they're like, no, we're all here, and it's just like a bunch of different versions of Reed. That would be freaking fire, bro.
Yeah. So the one thing you have to understand about the Council of Reeds is that it's very different from the Council of Kangs.
How is it?
So, granted, if you saw the picture of the Council of Reeds, the different Reeds and how they look would look just the way the different Kangs look. However, the thing about being a member of the Council of Reeds is that you are required to abandon your family. And and the Reeds who are in the Council of Reeds convince themselves that they are serving a greater good, and they are sacrificing their personal life with their family because they have a more important calling, and they really believe this. And they try to sell it to the Reed in the mainline in the 616 universe in the comics. And in the beginning, he's uncertain of it, and it's an interesting dynamic because it's pretty crazy to abandon your family and convince yourself you're serving a greater calling. And it's not like in an arena. They are in the room that they're in is very reminiscent of in the beginning of the Avengers. Remember when Loki comes and steals the Tesseract? The room looks just like that.
Okay. I got you. All right. So, yeah, all in all, we're going to uncover this as more rumors come out, and we're going to obviously talk about it, but until we see a trailer, we can't really we can't really say it's a fact, but yeah. What were you saying?
I will also do a video on Council of Reeds if you comment Council, and feel free to comment both Council and Franklin.
Yeah, that video will cook. All right, so let's get into Punisher. Now, this is really for Comic Cuts because he's more of a Punisher fan than I am, but we were blessed to see the Punisher on the set of Daredevil Born Again. So I'll let you go.
So this is fire. For those of you that don't know, in the world of comics, and I think we spoke about this last week, and I'm not going to get into the intricacies of the dilemma, but there were a lot of fans that were saying that the Punisher's logo should be changed. They did change the logo. And there were a lot of fans that were saying the Punisher, not a lot, but some that I saw say that the Punisher should be retired. And again, I'm not going to get into that. So if you're interested in it, look it up. I'm not doing a video on it. We try to avoid that kind of stuff on our show. If it really is impacting the content, we'll get into it. but obviously it isn't, because once you see this photo, they basically told this group of fans, get out of here. We're doing our thing. We believe in the Punisher. The one thing I will say is I think Marvel made the right decision. We shouldn't be changing or throwing away characters based on what a couple people on Twitter say. And the Punisher with the vest and the trench coat and the skull logo is awesome. John Bernthal is, the other thing about Punisher and Daredevil, they are two of the greatest castings in this genre of all time. And we got to get them right next to each other. It is awesome. The other thing that I really love about Punisher and Daredevil in these iterations is that, Netflix tried to do something different than what the MCU built. The MCU, is a unicorn, because the MCU built a fandom that didn't exist, and everyone else who makes superhero movies benefits from the pioneering of Kevin Feige and the MCU. But Netflix wanted to sell the superhero stuff to their audience, who a lot of them didn't like superheroes. So, for example, I have people in my life that I know that when these shows came out, they watched them and loved them, and they never watched Iron Man, Avengers, or anything. And, that's why I think Netflix was so successful with the IP, is because they made it grounded and realistic, and they were able to just make awesome TV shows that happened to be about superheroes. They didn't just go out of their way to sell it to people who are already fans of it. And now I know a lot of those people who actually do like the MCU. But yeah, I think it's awesome. I can't wait for this show. I think Daredevil Born Again is going to be like a new frontier for the MCU. And what I really hope that this brings is, I hope we get, one of the cool things about comic universes is that in a lot of ways, there's a main storyline, but then there are also other storylines that also exist within the universe. And some of them cross over into the main storyline and some of them don't. And I would like to see a world where we have an MCU where there is the main storyline, which right now is obviously the multiversal saga. But wouldn't it be awesome if we also had, a street level storyline that sometimes crossed over into the multiversal saga and sometimes didn't? And I think they could crush it with something like that. And, with Punisher, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Blade, I mean, you're going to have a stacked roster of characters to push a storyline in New York City, street level, forward within the MCU. So, yep.
Daredevil definitely needs to be in that Avengers lineup. Him and Punisher as well. I do expect Punisher to get a better suit though, something that's more fitting to his body. I want to pause. No Diddy. I want a tighter suit. You know what I mean? More
so
a Captain America type. You know, Captain America suits more it kind of looks like his skin, like that. You know what I mean?
It's fitted.
Yeah, fitted. Yeah.
Could you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
So what I want to see them do with the Punisher suit, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the one in this photo. Could we get that photo up here, by the way? Do we have it?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Go ahead.
So I'm going to get another photo and send it to you, though, because there's another suit that I'm talking about. But give me one.
Are you talking about the photo of him in the suit or just a random suit?
The Netflix one. Oh, hell yeah.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
I was talking about the one that leaked from set for the new Born Again. But
this one?
Yeah.
right, hold on.
But there's
I got it
another one
now.
I just sent you, and so I want to show you guys the one from Netflix. No, sorry, not Netflix. From the Disney Plus Daredevil Born Again set that leaked. But then there's another photo I just sent Stevie, and it looks like it's an Alex Ross style painting. I don't know if it's his or not. Looks like it might be. But
Alex Ross
regardless,
really does everything.
he does. Except his Batman looks like it's a guy who is too old for cosplay. That's cosplay. And listen, if you're north of 10 years old, you're too old for cosplay.
Oh my God.
You know,
Here we go. Cosplay and there you go.
Okay, so I mean, these suits look awesome. The Daredevil suit, by the way, looks very the Batman, Robert Pattinson inspired. You know, John Bernthal looking fresh with the skull. You know, he looks like he might be wearing hockey pads on the knees, but that's okay. You know, but then there's another suit that's iconic of the Punisher. And when I think of what Stevie is describing, that's like more fitted and more Avengers like, you know, I feel like they could give the treatment that they did to the Captain America suits and make it like a little more tactical in the paneling, but have the skull, you know, with the utility belt be the teeth and the white boots and the white gloves. You know, if you look at retro comics, the vintage comics, and you see the Punisher suit, you know, it looks very outdated. But the reason I like this particular photo so much is it kind of shows you that that retro suit that might look outdated in vintage comics could also be modernized. And, you know, I think you can see the potential in this photo for yourself.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the suit that like the Punisher suit in Civil War is like the perfect suit. Type in Punisher Civil War, and it's a photo of him holding Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that scene. Oh, that shit is so sick. Sorry,
Like that suit to me,
Yeah.
bro, is just perfect, bro.
Bro, that suit looks exactly like the one I sent.
He looks like freaking Batman. Like he looks like a
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne, dude. He's freaking ripped. Oh my god.
yeah.
So yeah, man, we're sold on the Punisher over here, man. We love it. We love it all. So, Disney, Marvel Studios, good job on that. Bring them back. We love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, X-Men 97 episode 5 clip was dropped today, so obviously it comes out at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to watch this clip. Is it 4?
Episode 4, you mean? Yeah, because
1,
last
2,
week it was 3.
4, yeah, 4. My bad. Episode 4. Oh my god, let me change that real quick.
You know what? Let me double check because I think you might be right because I think they put 2 episodes out.
They did. Oh yeah, it's episode 5. It is episode 5. Episode 5. So we're gonna watch this clip here. They brought my favorite X-Men character, Nightcrawler, finally back. I'm pretty sure they're on Genosha. So let's give that a watch, man. I love Nightcrawler, bro. I'm a big Nightcrawler stan over here. Hold on one second. All right. Oh wait, present. All right.
Everything around us would not have been possible without the work of the X-Men.
Oh my, it's just like you said it'd be.
Who? The professor?
Yeah, sure. Always used to say we'd have a place all our own one day.
More than a place. A home.
Daddy's charging pretty high rent.
Forcing a nation overnight is not without its share of stumbles.
Ignore him, so I can't help but ruin honey.
Or maybe Gambit's willing to ask questions no one else will.
Okay. So we got a few things to talk about. Number one, Nightcrawler is on Genosha. He's not with the X-Men. Now I know this. I know this was talked about in the Wolverine versus X-Men thing, which was I think it was a show called Wolverine and the X-Men, where Nightcrawler was on Genosha as well. So I would love to see where they're going with that. The other thing that I don't get is why did that guy pet him like he's an animal? Did you see that? He
Yeah,
Nightcrawler like that was like his cat.
it's kind of condescending.
Yeah, because like the whole point of you going to Genosha is to be treated equal, but you're being pet like cat, which has to mean that there's something wrong. Something's going on there. Maybe all of their minds are altered there. I'm not entirely sure, but um, is that making you think that something wrong might be going on in
Totally.
Genosha? Because Magneto's not there.
Right.
So
It does seem like every episode is kind of been like everything isn't as it seems.
And obviously Gambit is pressing her about Magneto because Rogue just said it's everything he said it would be. And we all know that Rogue is getting her back blown out by Magneto at the moment. So
Yeah.
like he's hitting that thing crazy. And
Yeah.
she got nerfed, which is the wilder part, you know, like Magneto has the nerfed Rogue. So
Yeah.
it's like so it's like, you know, but yeah, so I just want to see what happens, bro. Like, I just want to see what happens in the show because Gambit needs to speak up about it because the whole time the freaking clone of Jean Grey was going crazy, Rogue and Magneto were nowhere to be found, and then they were in the training room for hours. So, you know, this has to come to a halt. But I'm happy that Nightcrawler's coming. Do you think that Nightcrawler's going to rejoin the X-Men? Do you think he knows that Professor X died?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah,
and you know,
so yeah, we're definitely gonna find all of these things out. But it seems like someone's in control of their minds or something. So I'm pretty excited to see this. Obviously, the last episode was pretty much a filler episode, you know. So I can't wait to see the next one. So all right, now let's get into Secret Wars. Okay, so this next topic is what do we want to see in Secret Wars? Now there was a long list, so I'll start and then we'll build off of that. So here's what I want to see in Secret Wars. I want to see everyone come back. That's what I expect. I expect to have the big end game thing, very similar to where all the heroes come back. I expect to see a room filled with Tony Stark, Reed, T'Challa, every single smart mind, Shuri, every single smart mind, kind of in a room trying to figure out how to defeat King. I expect to see them on Battle World. I think they're going to go all out with this, and I think we're going to see maybe a multiversal team with Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I see stuff like that happening. I see Peter Parker going OP with the symbiote. I even can see something where Peter Parker loses his mind and beats the crap out of people. And Tony's like, bro, what has gotten into you? Like, calm down, something similar to that. I just expect to see them go for every single thing. I expect to see Captain America, Black Widow, literally everyone come back. But mainly, I expect to see the Beyonder, and I think the Beyonder is going to be a variant of Kang still, and I do expect to see Doctor Doom take him out, and then I expect Doctor Doom to be the main villain behind everything, and for them to not defeat him but take him out for a little bit because I do believe Doctor Doom will be back. I think that they might like destroy the Beyonder and King the Conqueror, but Doctor Doom's going to get away somehow, and I think, and this is my theory. I think Dr. Doom is going to take the Silver Surfer's board. And I think that so I can see something to where Dr. Doom has. Yep, I see something to where he has the surfboard, he has the Infinity Stones, and I believe that he's going to have another cosmic sword or something. And I think that he's going to become like the most powerful character in Marvel, and I see him flying off.
So I want to see a lot, but I want to see a lot less. Like that's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And what I really want to see, number one, is I want to see leading into it, like all their incursion stuff fails, and Doctor Doom builds Battle World into this planet. Which, for those of you that don't know, Battle World is a planet built of scraps of other Earths that exploded in the incursions. And in the comics, that's what Doctor Doom does. He builds Battleworld. But he also convinces Reed Richards' family that he is the father of the kids and he's married to Sue Storm. And Reed comes back and it ends up being an intricate battle and like a deep character analysis between Reed and Doctor Doom. And Doctor Strange is Doctor Doom's right-hand man, and he also convinces Doctor Strange that Doctor Strange is really serving a great leader who has treated everyone well. And Doctor Strange has no idea that he's serving a villain. Now I don't necessarily need to see all of that. I understand that, the comics, like, they need it to be a lot more intense than a deep character analysis face-off between two characters because it's an Avengers movie and it needs to be a big spectacle and there needs to be a big battle. I do want to see some character send-offs. I think that's important. I think the problem for me with the send-offs is that a lot of the characters that I want to see die, I want to see them die way sooner than Secret Wars because I think they need to go. Like, I think America Chavez, get her out of here. The Hulk, get him out of here. Maybe the Hulk in Secret Wars because he's been around for a while. But what I really also want to see with Spider-Man is I would love to see Miles Morales from the Spider-Verse movies cross over into Secret Wars. I want that Miles Morales to be the MCU Miles Morales. I think Secret Wars is the perfect time to do it. And then you have a new, fresh, powerful character to add to the roster in the MCU after Secret Wars. I also want to see the seed planted for the mutants to be the prominent story post Secret Wars. I don't want to see. I do want to see Iron Man, and I do want to see Captain America come back. I think that this would be a little too soon, so I don't want to see them in Secret Wars. I also want to see Punisher and Daredevil in Secret Wars. I think that you have to figure out a way to write in those street level characters into this big, larger than life movie. I want to see Doctor Doom kill Kang at the beginning. Like, I think that it would be really cool if Kang just destroys everyone in Avengers 5, and then you think he's gonna be the big bad for a lot of Secret Wars, and Doctor Doom just right at the beginning, similar to how Thor killed Thanos in the beginning. And other than that, I would like to see some of it go in the way of the comics, but I think that they're going to take more creative liberties with Secret Wars than they did with Infinity War, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think they're coming back at Secret Wars. You have to.
The issue that I have with it is that
It
like
makes me so happy thinking about it.
as of now, we have had 4 Avengers movies. By the
Okay.
time Secret Wars comes out, we will have 6. And you're
Okay.
going to tell me that they couldn't hold off bringing back the biggest moment characters. There's only one Avengers movie that you skipped. That's
Yes.
crazy, bro.
No, it's not.
That's
No, it's not.
crazy.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it
not.
is.
No, it's not. It's comic books, bro.
And you want to have the X-Men there?
Yes.
That's like too big. And if they
No.
do it, and if they do that, bro, that's like a 4-hour movie, which I'm
That's
fine
fine.
with a 4-hour movie, but I know a lot of people aren't. Listen, and I actually hope that it's a 4-hour movie. The way I see it is the better the movie, the longer I'm happier that it will be. Because if it's a great movie, I want to watch more of it.
Yeah, I see this being this is going to be their Lord of the Rings Return of the King type thing.
I don't know.
I see now, and now I wouldn't even be shocked if it's a Secret Wars because I mean, there's still the rumors are still circulating about a Secret Wars Part 1 and Part 2. So, which I'm not against either. So,
I'm not
I
against that either. That would be
yeah,
crazy.
either one I'm cool.
Actually,
Either one I'm fly with,
I actually now believe that they're going to do that. You know why? It's more money. It's a lot more money.
bro. That'll be the highest grossing film ever by a
Yeah.
long shot.
Yeah.
If you have Hugh Jackman and Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans all in one movie, bro, that's just bananas.
I don't know actually, because if they don't figure it out in the lead up to that, it might not be the highest grossing movie ever.
It will.
If
it will.
If that movie is coming out and people still are like the MCU isn't hot right now, that's a problem.
Yeah, I think Tony's gonna be back before Secret Wars though, because they're gonna use him in the build up. That's my opinion. I think they're gonna kind of use Tony as the Nick Fury to an extent, and not as Nick Fury as like he's being Nick Fury, but he's gonna be kind of getting things in order. That's at least the way I see it. Because they need him. They need for this to work, and I think what Feige's learning is for this to work, you have to have a core guy that's able to do it. And in my opinion, you could have done that with Thor. I think Thor could have been the guy. Like me personally, done right, in my opinion.
Reed could have been the guy. And that's
Yes.
what they should have done F4, the first movie after Endgame.
Yeah. But I'm saying like from like the OG, right? You could have had Thor to be like the center of the MCU for a bit. Then you go to like you could have Thor, Peter Parker, and then Reed, and then Cyclops as your guys. No, coming right out of it, and T'Challa, and you know, like T'Challa could have been the center of the MCU.
Yeah. By the way, next time you see some moron on X saying, "Oh, well, James Gunn should do this, James Gunn should do that," just remember that person was probably saying that they shouldn't have recast T'Challa. Look where we are. That person probably said Robert Pattinson shouldn't play Batman. Look where they are now. And this is outside of comic book movies and everything, but like whenever I read anything on the internet, I always keep in mind that most people lack intelligence. Like you have to keep in mind that chances are that the person that wrote whatever you're reading is not bright.
Yeah, they don't understand the business of movies, you know? They don't understand like the same way people think that the Snyder Cut is going to get sold to Netflix. It's like that's not how IP works. That's not how IP works. And like and
that's like the dumbest theory
and
ever.
You work in the finance industry, so you understand because it even works like it's even the same way in your industry. Certain things just can't go to certain companies. It's just it's not possible. It's not feasible, you know.
Right.
And I have really thought about, and you and I are going to talk about this off air. Obviously, I've really thought about doing a stream for our paid subs when we get those, or for our paid subs about doing a business episode where we just break down the business of movies and marketing and like what happens when you submit an idea. How does that work behind the scene? And really teaching people like it's not just here's my comic book idea, let's do it. No, there's a whole business and movement behind it.
And by the way, and we have another video on this, which you should check out, which is why, as much as we love the Batman Beyond animated movie idea, like we understand why it's not the time for it.
Exactly. Because it's more than what people like. It's about business. It's about business. So yeah, we're really thinking about that.
Strategy.
Exactly. All right, Hunger Mindset. Assuming the soft reboot is true, do you think Loki will erase the people of Earth's memories? Because let's say, for example, there's a new actor for RDJ. Would humanity question it since a new RDJ face? Well, that could be maybe possible. I'm not entirely sure. But if we're talking about the reboot. Oh,
they're gonna need to wipe some kind of slate clean. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be Loki or how it's gonna be done, but if they are doing any form of a soft reboot, there is going to need to be some element of wiping the slate clean. Yep. How they do it, I think the Loki's a great idea on Real Mighty, But I don't know how they'll decide to do it.
Yeah, and the reboot will be a new Earth. So
Yeah,
that's
gonna have to be a new Earth too.
Yep.
Because
And
the
while we're
616
here,
Earth is gonna blow up.
and let's just put this out there: we need Loki in Avengers 5. We need Loki in Avengers 6. We need Loki in the next Thor. We need Loki in Doctor Strange. We need Loki in Deadpool.
I would love to see Loki be the guy that puts the Avengers back together, by the way. And I think he's the perfect guy to do it going into Avengers 5.
Dude,
because
what if
they're keeping Kang, and Loki's the guy that puts the Avengers together, and he's like, I know Kang almost better than all you, because Ant-Man also knows him too. But Loki could be that guy. And they can make him a killer Avenger.
But so that's the theory that's been going around with the whole multiversal like Avengers, because the theory is that Deadpool and Wolverine at the end are going to join this multiversal team with Deadpool, Wolverine, Toby, and like all them, and that like this little team that Loki assembled is going to go around the multiverse trying to save people, and save the heroes and stuff. So like, and I hope that in Deadpool, when he's killing the TVA, Loki, like I would love this idea where Loki will bring Tony where he is in the multiverse and put all of the memories in his mind. And imagine we're watching Thor 5 and we see Thor, like Loki just brings him to where he is in the middle of the multiverse and like, or in the Yggdrasil tree, and they're talking, bro. That would be talk about cinema. That would be an emotional moment for a lot of fans. I might cry if I saw that.
Also, like what I would love to see if they gave Loki like a tactical Avengers like suit. That would be sick.
What if Loki became the Beyonder?
Horns.
What if Loki came the Beyonder, but like a good guy Beyonder after Secret Wars?
I feel like that's a little similar to where he is now.
Yeah, true. He might just stay where he is forever, dude. Honestly,
nah. They should make him an Avenger. That would be sick.
Maybe,
and they need him. They need him. Tom Hiddleston is a phenomenal actor. Like, he is the perfect guy for it.
That second season was amazing too. Very. It doesn't get talked about enough, bro.
Right.
Doesn't get talked about enough.
But I also think that Miles Morales could have a major role in Secret Wars, aside from my obvious want of him to cross over from the Spider-Verse movies. The other thing on that is that right now where we are in the Spider-Verse movies, like Miles Morales is like, I mean, he's there. Like, in the first movie, he was a novice. He is like talented as hell right now. And by the time the third movie's done, he's going to be a seasoned vet. So if they bring that Miles Morales into Secret Wars,
that'll be big.
He would be a major player on the battlefield in Secret Wars.
And what if they brought in Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy, since she voices her already?
Well, they're gonna have to decide what they want to do. If they want to keep her,
they could just do both. They could just do both.
They could do both. That is true, and she can get that bag.
Yeah. What do you say? My new theory: X-Men from another Earth, F4 from another Earth, couple new Avengers from another Earth, Hulk, T'Challa, etc., and some Avengers from the old MCU stay. Timelines reset with these characters. Yeah, that's kind of how it's starting to look. So kind of how it's starting to look. So here's what we're going to do. Let's talk some shop real quick, okay? So we will stomach the Joker trailer, okay? And tomorrow we will record a video on our review. Now, I'm going to warn you guys, we're not big Joker fans, so you're probably going to hear.
Hold on. I don't know about Stevie, but I love the Joker. I don't like the Joker movie because it's disrespectful to the lore. I think Joaquin Phoenix is overrated, and it's just like so unnecessary. And then they really pissed me off when they decide to make it a musical. I think musicals are corny. I don't think I don't think that they are really for adults. I think they're for children, like the Disney movies. And you know what else I also don't think is for adults? Cosplay. And
oh God, here we go.
Yeah, No, like, listen, I read comics. I love superheroes. I understand that might be a little childish, but like cosplay and musicals, like, bro, that's a little too much, you know.
I love you, bro. You're hilarious,
Yeah,
bro. Oh my
love you
god.
too.
So
So
yeah.
if I ever went into work into my firm and told people at work that I like musicals or I am into cosplay, like people would be like, "What the hell happened to you?" You know?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I'm the opposite. I love cosplaying and I love musicals. But the reality is that we're not Joker movie fans. And yes, we do love the Joker as a character. Come on, Joker is goated. But the
Yeah.
Joker movie, we're not fans of. But I'll
I'm
watch
still
it.
alive.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll write up a detailed breakdown. So we will at least, because I know some of you guys want us to break it down. We'll break it down, but just know it's going to be a very negative breakdown. I'm warning you now. So just saying. Hungry Almighty said, the only way I'll accept the new Joker trilogy is if the third movie has a teenage Batman taking down the Joker. Oh my God, that would be terrible. Will you guys react to the Superman fan-made trailer? So I was going to Hungry Almighty, but I kind of checked I have a YouTube software. We will get flagged if we reacted to the fan-made trailer, so I can't show it. So just to let you guys know, the way that this works, right? We get copyright strikes, which means that the companies that provide the content is able to strike down our content. So like Disney, we can review Marvel and Star Wars content because they don't have they're not really strong on copyright and they don't care. But when it comes to DC and Sony, they get very, very weird. So prime example, right? We covered Aquaman and our video got shadow banned and flagged because we reacted to the Aquaman 2 trailer. And the same thing happened. I think it was a while ago. We played a clip from Superman and Lois. We also got flagged. And then back before Comic Cuts came, I was covering No Way Home, and I clipped a trailer that also got flagged. So, or no, it was Venom. Venom got flagged. So I think that so that's why I'm very weird to show a lot of stuff. But what I will do is for you, Hungry, I will take shots from it and we'll reference it, and we'll probably do a separate video on it. So that's what I will do for you. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching and listening. Please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you know exactly, bro. Yeah, it's crazy. And look, in Hungry, it's wild because we honor the content, so it's wild that they put flags up, but it is what it is. But thank you guys for watching and listening. You guys know we upload every single day clips from this and videos from that. Follow our other channels, Fantasy Cuts. I just did an Invincible video on there. 2,500 views. You guys are going crazy on that channel. So the Invincible video did 1,500, bro. The Invincible video did 1,500 views in one day, and I'm pretty sure right now it's sitting at 2,500. So you guys are going crazy over Invincible. Let me see. Yeah, 2.5K views. So you guys are going crazy. And we also talk about some Danny Phantom on there and a lot of other stuff. So check out that channel. We are working on getting the Action Cuts thing going, and just let you guys know, Action Cuts is where we talk about James Bond. Action Cuts is where we talk about Mission Impossible, John Wick. I mean, anything action. That's where we'll be uploading that content as well. And just to give you guys just for the future, we are going to eventually have a Comic Cuts page, or Comic Cuts channel, where we'll be talking comics. So our goal is to cover the fantasy, action, and superhero and comic book side of the world. And we hope that you guys enjoy the content that we give you guys. And please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. And have a wonderful day. Peace.
Peace.